We keeps it real, expressing how we feel. Whoa. So come on in and feel some tea. Join the Courtney family. We're about relationships and review, making it fun and just for you. Go with God, let God go with you. It's time for Courtney and Eddie.
Now let's kick off.
first.
And we're back. Hey, you guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Courtney, also known as Coco, and my husband Eddie is not on this series with me because I'm doing it solo. Now, if you're brand new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Please comment down below, and I want to hear from you. Now, please forgive me. I had a minor surgery, last week, and so my voice is trying to come back to itself. So please bear with me. This is not my normal voice. If you're brand new to this channel, and I do not sound like this on a regular, but yeah, so we're working through it. So, but you guys, I wanted to talk about unlock family secrets. Now, I watched the one from last week thinking that it was the first episode, but found out that that was the second episode, something like that. I think I did. I switched it up. So I was thinking that last week when they aired it, because my DVR taped it, that was the first episode. But I think actually that was thinking that was the second episode, but actually that was the first episode. So anyway, tomatoes, child. So I'm going to do 2 and 3 in this video. So I'm going to put the pictures up. So just stay tuned and please bear with me with my voice. Now, y'all, this one that I watched last week, it was a mess too. It was disgusting and it was a mess. Now, you have a daughter that is actually looking for her birth mother. So, she actually went on a quest. Her name is Lisa Daniels, right there on the left. So, this is her adopted mom, and she's looking for her birth mother. Now, this quiz child was disgusting, but Lisa, she actually came up and she found out when she was a little child that she overheard a conversation saying that she was adopted when she was like in kindergarten. Child, she remembered like kindergarten, and so her adopted mom said, "Yeah, that's true." So of course, she wanted to know who her real parents was. So she actually over the next 25 years life started, not when she was in kindergarten, but as she got older, life started happening and stuff like that. So she had a family, she had kids and all that stuff, so she still wanted to know who her birth parents were. So Lisa had also a cousin that was adopted, and the cousin was also like, well, shoot, I can help you. I'm trying to find out who mine is, and I can kind of help you with that process. So she did. So, it's like, I guess 30 years, had passed and all that stuff, whatever. So she was able to get the name of her biological mother. And her name was Kelly Ann, if I'm not mistaken. So her mom was 15 when she actually gave birth to her. There was no dad on the birth certificate or anything like that. So she was like, okay, so the search is on. So I'm still on this question trying to find out this information. So she found that a possible sibling. I think they found on Facebook a possible sibling. And I'm just gonna put the pictures of the siblings and stuff like that. Now, this is her actual birth mother. And as you can see, they look alike. But so she actually found siblings. So the guy in the pink shirt is her stepdad, or would have been a stepdad, but he actually is the dad to the 2 siblings on the right. So she ended up finding the sibling in the middle, the guy, and found out that he's a pastor of a church. So she went to the church service. I think it was not too far from where she lived at. And she was like, listen, Pastor, I need to talk to you after church. And this man, like, oh Lord, honey, we can talk right here. She was like, nah, it's private and personal. So kind of pulled her to the side, and she was like, I think you're my sibling. So he was like, so she brought out all the documentation, everything that she found on the internet, all the research and everything. So he said, as he looked at her, he was like, dang, she do kind of look like my mom. And so he ended up calling his sister, which is right there on the right, was like, listen, this lady is before me saying that, hey, um, she is our mom's child. And the sister automatically believed it. She was like, yeah, I think that's true. So as Ben was being, which I think that's the son, um, he did call his sister and stuff like that. And then the sister called the dad, which is right there in the, over there in the pink. And the dad was like, "Oh, I think, as they say, the S is about to hit the fan." He knew information that he never disclosed before. He knew the information that he never disclosed before, which is why this episode was called the stepfather secret. So he told the story on how he met, the mom. And, they grew up, it was summertime and stuff like that. And so she was like, um, the mom was like, I guess they were like teenagers. And so she was like, I'm gonna go away for the summertime, but she came back. And he was like, when she came back, because she was like she was gonna go to, her grandmother's house for the summertime or something like that. But he knows when she came back, she seemed like not herself. She was very distant. But it come to find out she ended up telling him the truth when he wanted to marry her. And she was like, you don't want to marry me. And she ended up telling what happened. What had happened was is that her s- her stepfather, her stepfather that her mom had married. So let me go back. Not this man, but her stepfather that her mom had married, her biological mom had married. No, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Because this was I did this a minute ago. So her stepfather that her mom married. So her biological mom married a man. The stepdad started messing with this woman on the screen. Started, abusing her. Ended up getting the girl pregnant. And she went away that time so that she can birth this baby and give it up for adoption. And this girl was 15 years old. So this is how Camille came on the scene because her dad, her biological father, is a R-is, an R-is. Y'all know what that means. He's a pedo. He's a pedo. This was absolutely disgusting. You know, um, Camille, which is over there on the right, the sister, she was livid. She was mad. She was pissed off when they found out all the information about it. She was like, you know what, I need to go over there and because the man's still living. Stand outside his house and say, hey, y'all got a pedo in your neighborhood and stuff like that or whatever. And she was like, you know what, that's okay. But she actually was trying to get him to get arrested. But I guess everything had passed, the laws, the what is it, statute of limitations and all that stuff, whatever. And I guess it was just hard to prove. I don't know. But they couldn't let that happen. So they just decide to, hey, we're just gonna make this work. And Lisa was like, nope, I don't want to meet my father. If he did something like that, I don't want to meet him. And the stepdad over there in the pink was like, you know what? I just take you in as my daughter, you know. So it ended up being a beautiful story, interesting, nasty, and all that stuff. And I think the uncle, because Camille called her uncle, was like, did you know about this or whatever? And I think he said that, like, my dad, um, your mom was not the only person that my dad was with, or something like that. Bruh, this was a freaking child. This was a child. I don't know. I may have got that story mixed up or something like that, y'all, but that was the basis of that. It was disgusting. So basically, in short, her dad, her biological father, art her mom. And that's how she was conceived. And was given up for adoption at the age of 15. Psh, and I think she ended up passing away. So yeah. Now let's move on to this one. So the next story. So the next story on Unlock, which is episode 3, which I just got finished watching it. Now this was a mess too. And I don't know how I feel about it. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. But so let's deal with Cheryl is the one telling the story. So everything is around Cheryl Love. So she noticed, when she met her husband and stuff like that, that he didn't like taking pictures. Like he didn't like taking pictures. He didn't like to do a lot of family things and stuff like that or whatever. So she was like, she always thought it was strange. She always thought it was weird and it was strange. And she always felt like her husband was hiding something from her. But yet and still, honey, she went on to fall in love with this man, marry this man, have a child, then he proposed and they ended up having a family. But she was always feeling like he was hiding something, always. So once she found out she was pregnant, she ended up meeting this man on her job. So she was 23 and I think he was 32. So they ended up she ended up getting pregnant and he was like, "Well, I'm gonna marry you." So they ended up getting married. Now his name is Bobby. Bobby worked 2 jobs. He was such a good provider and everything, but she always felt like he still was hiding something. So one time his brother had passed away. And so she was like, "Well, I'm gonna go to the funeral with you." And he was like, "No, that's okay," because I think he was from North Carolina or something like that. She was like, "No." He was like, "No, that's okay. I'll go to the funeral by myself." And she was like, "I just didn't understand why this man didn't want for me to go nowhere with him, do nothing with him or anything like that. It was just weird and strange." Even when they got married, his family came to the wedding, but honey, they quickly went back home. And so he was like, he didn't want his brother to get drunk and start talking too much. So in my mind, I'm saying, what the heck? What's going on with this man? What kind of secret he keeping from his family? Child, is we gonna have another one episode like we did in what episode 1 or 2? And so she felt that maybe he had another family. Did he have an affair? Like what's going on? Even the kids didn't know their dad's past. So in 2008, he got fired from one of his jobs, and the kids noticed how he started to grow more and more distant. And so one time he filled out an application to get a job, but they said something about fingerprinting. And he was like, "Nope, I'm out." And so me, because of the industry that I was in, when it comes to all this, finances and all this stuff, I always had to do the fingerprint. Or it probably didn't start till I got into the wealth management field, but I had to do the fingerprint, the background, all that stuff, whatever, whatever. So I do understand that. And so in January of 2015, there was a knock at the door because Cheryl was like, "Dude, you gotta get up. I'm the only one working. You used to work 2 jobs and now you ain't working, doing nothing." So in January of 2015, there was a knock at the door and they said their bedroom was in the living room because they had 4 kids. Ended up having twins. I wonder why the twins was not in this documentary, or anything. Did they just not want to be in there, or did something happen to them? I would like to know because they said they had twins, but only seen 2 children in this documentary. So 2015, there was a knock at the door, FBI, police, guns were drawn, and everything. It was like 8 to 12 cops, and they was telling Cheryl, "Ma'am, you don't even know who this man is. Like, you don't even know who this man is." And they said his name not Bobby Love. That is not his real name. So she like, "Oh my gosh. All this time I've been feeling all these, he hiding something, and this not even this man real name." So they got a call from the attorney, Cheryl did, because they took him on to jail. And the attorney said, "Listen, when you go up to see him, ask for Walter Miller." And she was like, "Okay, is that the facility he in and stuff like that, or the building?" She said, "No, ma'am, that's his name." Walter Miller, honey. This man name should be Bobby Love, cause that's what he told me, Bobby Love, honey. That sound like a little swindler. So when Cheryl and the kids, I don't know if Jordan went, but I do know that Jessica went. Okay, Jessica and Jordan, kind of like my kids, they got the J's. Um, so when they did go to see him, you know what I'm saying, he came out, he was crying and all that stuff, whatever. It ends up that he is a convicted bank robber that escaped prison and was on the run for the last 30 years. Bobby Walter. Child, I've been running for my life, honey. Running for my life as a person for the last 30 years. Oh my gosh. And so Bobby started telling the story how he ended up where he at, how he at where he at now. So he was saying, I think that he grew up, I think his father may have passed or something like that or whatever. So, just needing money, trying to be hip out around the house and all that stuff, whatever, just need money. He was like, he just started stealing little petty stuff and stuff like that, breaking in people's cars and stealing stuff like that. But he ended up, it just kept taking him down the spiral. So he started, amping his game up. So he started stealing and he served 13 months in juvie after he got caught. So once he got back out, then he just started this life of hustling. Bobby wanted nice things. He wanted to dress fly and all that stuff, whatever. So Bobby was like, okay, listen, I'm out. I still don't want to work. So I'm gonna get out here and do what I need to do. So during the inauguration 1969 of President Nixon, he realized, listen, it ain't gonna be too many cops because everybody gonna be at the inauguration and it's. So what I'm do is I'm going to rob this pharmacy. What's funny to me is that every time Bobby got caught, Walter, whatever his name, that's what's funny to me. Child, this was not your ministry. So anyway, when he robbed the pharmacy, they had a silent alarm. And just as soon as he was getting ready to run out, the cops was child running back in. So he ran and he hid between the car. He had his gun and all that stuff, whatever. And I think he shot to his left, but somebody ended up shooting him to his right hand. I said, Bobby ain't about that life. He's not about that life. So so this is where he served 13 months in juvie. And he was like just in high school. I think he was like 18 years old or something like that or whatever. So Bobby said, listen, I want to do it. I'm finna do it big. Now forget the pharmacy, honey. Let's take it to the bank. So he ended up stealing a car, picked up the friend, poor friend, child. I don't even know if he about that life, but he just went along with him, honey. So Bobby was like, listen, I'm gonna go and rob this bank. So once again, Bobby got caught. Robbed the bank, honey, they stole the car, robbed the bank. They got away riding down the freeway or the road or whatever. The cops like pull over. The friend was like, they down to us. How they know this us? End up pulling over, honey. Bam, boom, clink, clink. So the friend got 6 years, I think he said, and Bobby was facing 25 to 30 years for armed robbery. So while he was in prison, he was assigned, I'm not sure, I could have missed it, but I'm not sure how long he was in prison before he decided to do this. But while he was in prison, he was like, you know what, I'm getting out of here. And I guess he was doing that manifestation, child. He was like, I'm getting up out of here. So Bobby had made a plan. He found him some civilian clothes, something to put up under his uniform and everything. So you know how they do those work release, them people, child. I ain't gonna even lie. When I be seeing them on the road, sometimes I just hurry on by, child, because I do not want you to be trying to make a run, honey, and pull on my doorknob. So I am very aware. Shoot. So anyway, so Bob was like, I'm finna make a run for it. So he noticed there was only one person on the bus when they got ready to take them to their destination. And I guess that person, didn't have a gun and nothing like that. So Bobby had on his civilian clothes up under his jail suit and he made a run for it. and baby Bobby was in the wind, honey. So he went on, he took off his prison clothes, left him in the woods and stuff like that. He went on to the bus station. He asked this man to pay this man. I guess he gave him extra $20 because he said he saved up money while he was in there, money from what people was giving him, and I guess money maybe from doing little jobs and stuff like that or whatever. So he saved up his money. So he gave the man an extra $20. He said, "Hey, can you go in there and buy my bus ticket?" He did. He ducked down in the bus. Bobby was looking for the cops, child, and the cops never came, and he ended up going to New York. And so, he needed a driver's license so that he can work and do all the things. So he went to, I don't know if he went to DMV, child. I don't know where he went, but he said he went to the driver's license place and stuff like that. I think he said somebody asked him his name, and he had to change his name. He was like Bobby Love. He just came up with that at the blue. And so when he went to the driver's license to get his driver's license, he said, "Man, I need a driver license." And he said, like, "Nah, man, I need a driver license." I guess it's some kind of code to say, "Nah, I need an undercover driver, like I need a real but fake one." So he got a driver license. 1977 to 1984, he met someone in there. He met Cheryl. They had a child. They had children later. He never told Cheryl the secret because he said if he told Cheryl the secret, she would say, "Turn yourself in." So now I'm telling y'all the backstory just like they told it to us. But fast forwarding now, he's in prison. They claimed him, went back and all that stuff, whatever. And they told him that he got to go and finish serving his 9 years or serve 9 years or something like that. So Cheryl was in in her mind, she was just trying to decide whether she was gonna stay with this man or leave him. So she wrestled with it and stuff like that and said, you know what, he would have never left her. So she decided to stay with him. Now she said she was mad that he never told her. She was pissed off and all that stuff, whatever. So Cheryl said, you know what, I'm gonna stick beside him, honey. So they all went to court. The children, Jessica was by her daddy's side. They all went to court, and the judge said that he had to go back to North Carolina and do 10 years. Ooh, child, that was a lot. This man then escaped and built a whole family, 4 children, honey. Built a whole freaking family. And now he's older in age. He was 30 something when he met her. So if he been on the run, because I don't think it was shortly after, so he got to be 60 something when this happened. Like on the run for 30 years. So he got to be 60 something probably when this happened. So Cheryl said that she was scared, that he might die in prison. His health is not good. He had diabetes and all that stuff. And so, she also said that they wouldn't let him use his cane or anything like that. So Cheryl, she prayed, she wrote to him, they wrote back. She said this was the first time that she really felt like her husband was sincere or genuine. The secret has been out, so when he said he loved her, she felt that it was so sincere and genuine because now it was nothing holding back. In her mind, she probably saying, "Yeah, you love me, but you hiding something. You got a secret family, you got a child out there. Who you really is?" So now it felt more pure. So the attorneys called him and said, because I think he already did a year so far. So the attorneys called them and said, "Listen, he got a parole hearing coming up. I need y'all to do it and do it big." So write letters, get letters from whoever to say what kind of person Bobby really and truly is. Y'all make sure y'all write letters. She said she got a letter from the pastor. She also wrote to President Obama. Sherry explained everything about Bobby and who Bobby really and truly was. So after that, it was just a waiting game. Now is Bobby gonna get released or not? So Cheryl said she got a call and he was released. She got a call saying that Bobby will be released. Bobby was excited, the family was excited, everything, and he had just turned 65. That's why I said he was older. You know what I'm saying? It's one thing when you're older and then you got bad health already. Dude, he probably had bad health too because he was living. I cannot imagine living the way he was living for 30 some years, y'all. Just think, you on the run. You can't tell your family. You can't go different places. Even though he was working two jobs, it probably was one that was paying him, you know what I'm saying, under the table, all that stuff. He couldn't use his social security number. Like he couldn't do none of those things as Bobby Love. I mean, as Walter Miller, whatever his real name was. So Cheryl asked him, listen, are we Millers or are we Loves? He was like, we Loves. We're going to stick with that. And I'm going to stick beside him. We're going to stick with that name. So Bobby now is rehabilitated, honey. He is a deacon in the church because God did a work with him while he was in prison and all that stuff, whatever. And so, because I think he didn't want to go to church. He didn't used to want to go to church. I don't know if he was still running and hiding because, he didn't really like to be around people like that. Uh, But the daughter said one thing about it that, some people, they say prison is supposed to rehabilitate you, make you a changed person. But her dad was able to do it outside. I was like, yeah, because he escaped prison. He didn't want to go back. And for some people, some child, all they needed was a taste of that. And they don't want to go back and they'll start to do right. So in your mind, those that are listening, do y'all think that he should have went and served the rest of his time? Do you think that it was fair for him not to serve time and now get out? So I don't know how I feel about it. I like the fact that he did, he was a changed man. But I guess at this point, honey, it was too late, child, because he was a changed man. He got a family. Seemed like he was a good person. He just was around the wrong people and stuff like that. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. Now next week's supposed to be good because they supposed to have a celebrity on there. Do y'all watch that show? I just started watching it. What's it called? Carl's The Family Business or something like that. Yeah. I watched I didn't watch from season one, but I picked up on it because BET be showing the reruns. And so I was watching a little bit of it. I said, okay, this is good. And the man that they're gonna talk about next week is on that show. Now I think they got the family business, like that's been going on. The first one been going on for seasons one to season six. I think this other one is the New Orleans style with the people. So I like it. I like it. So but anyway, that's all I got, you guys. I will see you guys on the next video. As I always say, don't forget to go with God and let God go with you. And always put God first. Deuces.